Hi, I'm Chioma Isiadinso, CEO of Expartus. Welcome to today's episode on how to interview successfully at Harvard Business School. One of the things I want to start with is congratulating you. The fact that you've gotten an interview is a pretty massive achievement. Now, for the next step, you know that Harvard typically would admit about half of the applicants that they interview. So you're clearly one step closer to getting in. So the question really is, how do you prepare? There are a few things to just highlight. The first is, you've got 30 minutes to impress the admissions board. The interviews at Harvard tend to be very much like clockwork. Unlike a lot of business schools where the interviews can go quite long, at Harvard Business School, the interviews are typically 30 minutes. They're usually done by admissions board members. And it's interesting because unlike a lot of schools where, applicants can come in and just kind of talk about their resume and it's a bit off the cuff, the Harvard interview is actually quite focused. One can even say it's very structured. The admissions board member who's interviewing you is one of several people that have looked at your application, and they have questions that have already been highlighted. And these questions are going to be the questions that admissions person interviewing you will focus on. And they can be they can be really more like a rapid fire kind of an experience. One of the things most people say when they come out of the Harvard interview is that they're shocked at how quickly it goes by. Expect that you'd feel almost like you blinked and it was done. So the questions usually are around your actual application. So know your story inside out. Reconnect with your recommenders and make sure that you're clear on what they shared about you, particularly around the constructive criticism. The interview would also probe questions around your motivation. So questions around why you chose the schools you chose, why you chose a place of employment, the kinds of projects you've worked on, what did you learn? From a macro standpoint, I like to give you a framework to prepare you for the Harvard interview. Think of four things, what we call the PGII factors at Expartus, my firm. And the first one is passion. Make sure that whatever you say, however way you answer the questions, that your passion comes through. The next thing is, make sure that guts, that you're able to demonstrate that you've taken some risks, that you've not always played it safe, that you're someone who's willing and comfortable to put yourself out there, to step out of your comfort zone. So that's the G for the PGII factor. The I is impact, impact, impact. Make sure that as you answer the questions that you're coming across as someone who has left footprints. You've left a direct impact in the different places you've been to. And you left it for the better, obviously. And the understanding is really that you're not perfect, so it's also important to also show your self-awareness, and that's the final I, insight. So you'll get a lot of questions from Harvard Business School asking you about how you've made your decisions. What will people say about you? If you were to do something all over again, how would you go about it? If there's some things you don't do so well, why do you think that's the case? So there's a lot of questions around the probing elements to understand who you are and how you make decisions, and whether you're self-aware, whether you can honestly look at yourself and say, look, these are my areas of development, and I still have a long ways to go, but here are some things I'm proud of. It's a tricky thing answering the Harvard interview questions, in the sense that you don't want to come across as someone who's not confident. You clearly want to come across as being confident, but you can't overstep your bounds and come across as arrogant. So it's a subtle balancing act where you answer the questions as succinctly as you can, but you do so while demonstrating self-awareness, the fact that you're quite passionate, you're always learning, you're someone who's positive that they would want to see in the class, and also that you're someone who has left an impact wherever you have been. I'll invite you to check out my Facebook page, and we will have a list of Harvard Business School admission questions to expect. So just pop over to the Expartus Facebook page and look for that information. I trust that will help you I wish you all the best. Definitely share your comments and don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel. All the best to you. Cheers. Bye.